Steve, we've stepped out of the madding crowd for a second to find a quiet spot to interview you with, which we must be delighted with.
Yes, it's fantastic. The school is buzzing. It's completely full to the rafters. We had to have an overflow area this evening to accommodate all the additional people, to try and avoid people standing around the sides, but still there were people coming in after 7 o'clock and filling up standing room only, I suppose you'd say.
Of course, I guess there's only so many places, so there's a huge demand, isn't there? When people are coming here, are they looking for certain things?
I guess so, and I think people are quite discerning these days, and they go around and look at different schools and try and match the school, if you like, and the ethos of a school to their own children's needs. I mean, as you know, historically, William Edwards has always been oversubscribed, so we always have a busy evening, but I think this year more than ever, it's been particularly busy, which is great.
And this year more than ever because you've got an outstanding in Ofsted.
Well, it doesn't hurt, I don't think. It certainly helps, and I think people, again, read what gets said in the press, and they're quite up to speed with what's happening now, and are quite discerning, as I said earlier on, and therefore a judgment like that from Ofsted clearly sends a very strong message about what's happening at the school.
And with the 71%, proudly sitting there on your banners and the upward curve, that must great as well, that people see that your sales are really on the up as well.
Yeah, and actually as much for staff as it is for those people coming around as visitors, because as I said to a couple of colleagues today when we were walking around the school, these messages that we're putting around the school are as much to say to them, look, this is what we achieved. And people are quite rightly enormously proud of what's happened here over the last few years. And it's quite right that we're proud of it and shout it from the rooftops, I guess.
Are there typical questions that parents ask an open evening?
This evening it ranges from questions about obviously specific things to do with sport. Clearly is something that has a real strong affinity with the school. They often ask questions about a whole host of things. Actually, it's quite difficult to predict what people will ask. What I try to do clearly in my speech is answer what I see as the main issues and the things that parents worry about most, I suppose. And that's about things like discipline and behaviour, curriculum, exactly how they will be settling into the school, the way that we operate things in year 7 in terms of transition, and try and put their minds at rest. I think more importantly than hearing from me, they hear from students, and I think that's really important, and they get opportunity to speak to all of the students that have come in this evening to help us run the event.
Because your students as guides, as within the classes, they're great ambassadors, aren't they?
It's tremendous, and as I said to the year 11s that are touring people around the school before we started this evening, their job is probably the most important this evening, because it's them that will receive most of the questions. And of course, we're quite happy for that to happen because they'll tell the truth, and the truth is actually a pretty good picture.